Hey, welcome back to Why I Hate Being a Wife. I'm your host, and today we need to talk about something that's exhausting me in ways I didn't even realize until recently. The good wife performance. You know what I'm talking about. That version of yourself that exists in public. The one who's pleasant, capable, has it all together. The one who smiles through everything. The one who makes it look effortless. She's gracious. She's accommodating. She's never resentful, never difficult, never complaining. She hosts beautifully. She organizes perfectly. She manages everything seamlessly. She's the good wife. And I'm so fucking tired of playing her. Because here's the thing. The good wife performance requires me to be silent about everything that's actually killing me. It requires me to pretend that I'm fine when I'm drowning. It requires me to smile while I'm dying inside. And I'm done. Today, we're going to talk about what the good wife performance actually is, how it shows up, what it costs us, and why I'm retiring from this role. Let's start by talking about what the good wife performance actually looks like. It's showing up to the family dinners with a smile even though you planned the entire meal, cooked it by yourself, and you are exhausted. It's laughing off comments about how lucky your husband is, like you are a prize he won instead of a person he chose. It's accepting compliments about the meal you spent hours cooking like it was no big deal, like it didn't take planning and shopping and prep and cooking and cleaning. It's been pleasant when someone asks, "What do you do?" And you say, "I'm just a mom," even though you're working harder than you ever have in your life. It's never admitting how much work it was to get everyone out the door looking presentable. Never acknowledging that you packed everyone's bags, coordinated everyone's schedules, made sure everyone had what they needed. It's performing gratitude for things you shouldn't have to be grateful for. Thank you so much for watching the kids. They are his kids too. I'm so lucky he helps out. It's not helping. It's his job. It's being the hostess, the organizer, the coordinator, the one who makes sure everything is nice and everyone is comfortable while never admitting how exhausting it is. It's making sure everyone else is taken care of before you even think about yourself. It's managing everyone's emotions, soothing tension, keeping the peace, making sure nobody's uncomfortable even when you're the one who's struggling. It's being expected to have infinite patience, infinite energy, infinite capability, infinite pleasantness. The good wife makes it look effortless. She never complains. She never admits how hard it is. She never shows the cracks. And that's the problem. Because when you make it look effortless, everyone assumes it is effortless. They don't see the work. They don't see the exhaustion. They don't see the performance. They just see the good wife and they expect her to keep performing. Let's talk about one of the biggest parts of the good wife performance: emotional labor. Emotional labor is managing everyone's feelings, everyone's except your own. It's making sure everyone is comfortable, making sure nobody's upset, making sure tensions are smoothed over, making sure feelings are validated and conflicts are resolved. It's being the buffer between family members who don't get along. It's managing your husband's relationship with his own family. It's making sure everyone feels included and appreciated. It's remembering everyone's emotional needs. Who needs extra support right now? Who's going through something difficult? Who needs to be checked on? It's being the one everyone comes to with their problems. Being the listener, the supporter, the problem solver. It's managing your own emotions so you don't add to anyone else's burden. Staying pleasant even when you are overwhelmed. Staying calm even when you are stressed. Staying positive even when you are exhausted. It's reading the room and adjusting your behavior accordingly. Being upbeat when everyone needs energy. Being calm when everyone needs steadiness. Being whatever everyone else needs you to be. And it's exhausting because emotional labor is invisible. Nobody sees it. Nobody acknowledges it. It just happens to be in the background and everyone benefits from it without realizing you're doing it. The good wife manages everyone's emotions seamlessly. She makes sure everyone is okay, and she does it without ever making her own emotions anyone else's problem. She's the emotional manager of the family, and she never gets a break. The good wife performance is especially intense in public when there are witnesses, when there are people to impress or maintain appearances for. You show up to family events with a smile plastered on your face, even though you are exhausted from preparing for it. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You make small talk with people you don't particularly like. You are pleasant and social and engaged even when you'd rather be anywhere else. You accept compliments graciously. Oh, it was nothing. Even though it was absolutely something. It was hours of work and planning and execution. You never, ever admit that anything is hard. You never show that you are struggling. You never let anyone see the exhaustion or the resentment or the frustration. You perform capability, competence, ease. How do you do it all? They ask, and you smile and say something humble and self-deprecating instead of screaming, I'm drowning and nobody notices. You dress nicely, you make sure your kids are dressed nicely, you make sure your home is presentable, you make sure everything looks perfect, even if you are falling apart behind the scenes. You're the good wife, the capable one, the one who has it all together. And nobody sees that it's all a performance. Nobody sees the work that goes into maintaining that image. Nobody sees the cost. They just see the results, the perfect family, the gracious hostess, the capable wife. And they assume that's just who you are, effortlessly. One of the most insidious parts of the good wife performance is the don't nag trap. If you ask for help, you are nagging. If you express frustration about inequality, you are nagging. If you point out that something needs to be done, you are nagging. If you remind him about something he said he'd do, you are nagging. The good wife doesn't nag. She doesn't complain. She doesn't express negative emotions about the unequal distribution of labor in her marriage. So you have two choices. Be silent and do everything yourself, or speak up and be labeled a nag. If you do everything silently, you are invisible. Your work isn't acknowledged. You are drowning, but nobody notices because you are maintaining the performance. If you speak up, you are difficult. You are demanding. You're not being appreciative. You're making your husband feel bad. You are ruining the mood. You can't win. The good wife performance requires you to be pleasant about being overwhelmed, gracious about inequality, understanding when he forgets or doesn't notice or doesn't follow through. You have to smile through it. You have to be nice about it. You have to make it easy for him to ignore the problem. Because if you're not nice about it, if you express anger or frustration or resentment, then you are the problem, not the inequality, not the fact that you're doing everything you, because you're not being pleasant about it. The good wife swallows her frustration. She asks nicely. She doesn't push too hard. She doesn't make waves. And she drowns silently while maintaining a smile. Part of the good wife performance is a constant comparison game, comparing yourself to other wives, other mothers, other women who seem to have it all together. Social media shows you everyone's highlight reel, the perfect homes, the perfect families, the perfect meals, the elaborate birthday parties, the organized playrooms, the patient mothers, the couples who seem so in love. And you look at your own life and wonder why it's so hard for you, why you can't seem to keep up. why you're struggling when everyone else seems fine. But here's the thing, they are performing too. They are showing you their best moments, their perfectly curated images, their good wife performance. They're not showing you the chaos behind the scenes, the exhaustion, the resentment, the fights about who's supposed to do the dishes, the mental load that's crushing them. They are showing you the performance, and you are comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. And that makes you feel like you are failing, like you are not good enough, like you are not being a good enough wife, mother, woman. So you try harder, you perform better, you make your social media look better, you smile more in public, you maintain the facade, and we're all lying to each other. We're all performing. We're all drowning behind the scenes while showing perfect images to the world. We're all playing good wife and we're all suffering for it. But we can't admit it because admitting you're struggling means you're failing. Admitting you are exhausted means you are not capable enough. Admitting you are resentful means you are ungrateful. So we keep performing, we keep lying, we keep pretending, and we keep drowning. The good wife performance comes with intense perfectionism pressure. Because if you're going to perform being capable, you have to actually be capable. You have to actually have everything together. The house should be clean, not just tidy, clean, Pinterest worthy if possible. The kids should be well behaved, well dressed, well adjusted. They should be thriving. If they're struggling, it reflects on you. Dinner should be ready, and it should be healthy, and preferably homemade, and it should cater to everyone's preferences. You should be put together, hair done, makeup on, wearing actual clothes instead of whatever's comfortable. Looking like you tried, but not like you tried too hard. You should be sexually available, not too demanding, but also interested. Maintaining attraction, keeping him satisfied. You should work, but not so much that the house suffers. Your career should be impressive, but not so demanding that you can't also be a perfect wife and mother. You should have hobbies and interests so you're not boring, but not so many that you're neglecting your family. You should be everything to everyone. Perfect wife, perfect mother, perfect employee, perfect friend, perfect hostess, perfect woman. And you should make it all look effortless. If you're struggling, if you're not perfect, if something falls through the cracks, that's a failure. That's you not being good enough. The perfectionism pressure is impossible. Nobody can actually meet all these expectations, but the good wife performance requires you to try and to never admit how impossible it is. So let's talk about what the good wife performance actually costs you. First, It costs you your authenticity. You can't be real. You can't be honest. You can't show people who you actually are because you're too busy performing who you are supposed to be. Second, it costs you your sense of self. When you're performing all the time, when you're being what everyone else needs you to be, you lose track of who you actually are. Your identity becomes the role instead of the person. Third, it costs you your mental health. The constant performance is exhausting. The inability to be authentic is isolating. The pressure to be perfect is crushing. You're anxious, depressed, burnt out, but you can't admit it because the good wife doesn't struggle with mental health. Fourth, it costs you your relationships. Nobody actually knows you. They know the performance. They know the good wife, but they don't know you, the real you, the struggling, exhausted, resentful, angry, complex you. So you're surrounded by people, but deeply lonely because nobody knows who you really are. Fifth, it costs you your physical health. The stress is destroying your body. The lack of rest is wearing you down. The constant go, go, go without breaks is unsustainable, but you push through because the good wife doesn't take breaks. Sixth, it costs you your happiness. You can't be happy when you're constantly performing, when you're swallowing your resentment, when you're pretending to be fine when you're not. Happiness requires authenticity, and you can't be authentic when you're performing. And seventh, it costs you your voice. You can't speak up about what's wrong because speaking up breaks the performance. You can't advocate for yourself because that makes you difficult. You can't be honest about your needs because the good wife is selfless. So you stay silent and nothing changes and you keep drowning. That's what the good wife performance costs you. It costs you everything. So what happens when you stop performing? When you drop the good wife mask and let people see the real you. People are uncomfortable. Your honesty makes them uncomfortable. Your anger makes them uncomfortable. Your admission that you're struggling makes them uncomfortable because your performance was serving them. It was making their lives easier. It was maintaining social harmony. It was keeping everything running smoothly. When you stop performing, they have to actually see the work you're doing. They have to acknowledge the inequality. They have to confront the fact that you've been drowning while they benefited from your labor. And they don't want to do that, so they push back. You are accused of being negative, ungrateful, difficult, too much, asking for too much, being too sensitive. Your partner might feel attacked because you've stopped pretending everything is fine. You've stopped protecting his ego. You've stopped making excuses for the inequality. Your family might disapprove because you're not playing your role anymore. You're not being a good wife. You're being difficult. Friends might distance themselves because your honesty is uncomfortable. Your refusal to keep pretending is forcing them to look at their own performances, and they don't want to. But here's what else happens when you drop the mask. You might finally breathe. You might finally feel like yourself again. You might finally be honest about what you need. You might finally stop drowning in silence. You might finally have the real connections with people who know the actual you. You might finally be able to ask for help without apologizing for it. You might finally be able to rest without guilt. You might finally be able to set boundaries. You might finally be able to say no. The discomfort of dropping the mask is temporary. The freedom is lasting. So, here's what I've decided. I'm retiring from the role of good wife. I'm done performing. I'm done pretending. I'm done smiling through it. I'm done making it look easy when it's not. I'm done being pleasant about being overwhelmed. I'm done being gracious about inequality. I'm done protecting everyone else's feelings while neglecting my own. I'm done making myself smaller so everyone else can be comfortable. I'm done with the performance. From now on, you're going to get the real me, and she's tired. She's angry. She's resentful. She's done pretending this is fine. She's not always present. She's not always patient. She's not always accommodating. She has needs. She has boundaries. She has limits. She's messy and complicated and real. And if that makes people uncomfortable, they can be uncomfortable. I'm not managing their feelings about my honesty anymore. If my husband feels attacked when I point out inequality, that's his problem to work through. I'm not going to keep being silent to protect his ego. If family members are disappointed that I'm not performing anymore, they can deal with that disappointment. I'm not responsible for maintaining everyone's illusions. If friends prefer the performed version of me, they weren't actually my friends. They were fans of my performance. And I'm not performing anymore. I'm retiring from the role of good wife, and I'm becoming a real person again. A flawed, exhausted, angry, honest person, but a real one. The good wife performance is killing me. It requires me to smile while I drown, to pretend I'm fine when I'm falling apart, to make it look effortless when it's destroying me. And I can't do it anymore. I won't. So here's my announcement. I'm retiring from the role of good wife. You are going to get the real me now. And she's tired, she's angry, and she's done performing. She's going to be honest about how hard it is. She's going to admit when she's overwhelmed. She's going to ask for help without apologizing. She's going to set boundaries without guilt. She's going to say no. She's going to prioritize herself sometimes. And if that makes me a bad wife, then fine. I'm a bad wife because I'm done being a good one at the cost of my sanity, my authenticity, and myself. You want a good wife? Hire a household manager, a personal chef, an event coordinator, a therapist, a sex worker, because that's what the good wife role actually requires. And I'm one person, and I'm done. Alright, that's it for today. Next time, we're talking about I lost all my friends when I got married. How marriage and motherhood make your friendships disappear while his stay intact. Until then, remember, you don't owe anyone a performance. You're allowed to be real. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to stop pretending. This is why I hate being a wife. I'm your host, and I'll see you next time. Take care.